Thank you for joining us for this episode of Season 2 of Comply on the Fly with M3 and KarenB. Comply on the Fly is your trusted weekly resource for reliable insight and quick answers on common employee benefits compliance questions. Please note, this podcast and the contents herein do not constitute legal advice. Seek the advice of counsel for any employee benefits, compliance-related guidance, or strategy.
Hello, everyone. I'm KarenB, and welcome to Season 2 of Comply on the Fly. Thank you to everyone who has supported this medium for the delivery of M3 compliance information and essentially made Season 2 possible. We hope you keep listening and tell your friends. Okay, now on to the question of the week. And just so you know, we are going to primarily focus on actual client questions in this season. And this first episode is actually a question I received from several people after our October monthly webinar. So I'll combine them into one themed question, which is on ACA reporting. The question is, when I am completing my 1095Cs, do I need to enter a code on Part 2, line 16, when someone waives coverage? Great question, and somewhat timely as we head toward the end of the year, and you may be prepping for end-of-year reporting and 1095Cs in particular. As a reminder, any employer subject to ACA shared responsibility requirements, and that is generally employers with 50 or more employees, must do calendar year reporting on offers of coverage made to their full-time, which here is 30 or more hour, employees, and if self-funded, report coverage months. For this question, we are specifically focused on Part 2 of the 1095C, where an employer indicates if an offer of coverage is made on line 14, Part 2, the cost of the coverage is indicated, sometimes on line 15, and what the employee's actual situation is on line 16. The question assumes that an offer has been made, but the employee waived coverage. Now, there is no specific Series 2 code, which is what you use on line 16, Series 2 codes, for a waiver. So initially, many employers assumed you left line 16 blank for waivers. However, if you made an offer of affordable coverage to the employee and they waived, line 16 should not be left blank. Rather, depending on what affordability safe harbor you applied, a waiver should be coded as a 2F, 2G, or 2H. 2F for the W-2 safe harbor, 2G for the federal poverty level or FPL safe harbor, or 2H for the rate of pay safe harbor. The only time you will want to leave line 16 blank is if you offered coverage to the person, but the offer was not affordable. Remember, if you do receive a penalty letter from the IRS for not offering affordable coverage and you mistakenly left line 16 blank, you will have an opportunity to provide the correct coding in your response to the IRS. And that is your Comply on the Fly question of the week. Thanks for tuning in.
What's on your mind? If you have a pressing compliance question, send it to AskKarenB at m3ins.com. We'll do our best to cover it in an upcoming episode. You can now follow and subscribe to Comply on the Fly on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Make sure to tune in next week and encourage others to join us.